Welcome on today's conversation on the future of work, where AI isn't just a buzzword, but a business driver. This is Lenovo Work Reborn, live in Orlando. Thank you so much for coming by our podcast booth today. It's really exciting to talk to you about really what's going on in the market and being one of the many leaders that is sharing their voice. For our listeners, do you mind introducing who you are and what you do?
Yeah, of course. Thanks for having me, Rita.
Yes.
So I'm Avishay, CEO and co-founder at Anima, where we automate design to code. So our customers are all the logos in the world: Google, Facebook, Tesla, IBM, Salesforce. And what we do is we allow engineers and UX teams to collaborate and deliver software faster thanks to AI. In the core, we turn Figma designs into code and automate front end.
Well, you're just the right person to talk to then about AI, which is a huge topic that we've been hearing about everywhere at this conference. I mean, how many times have you heard the word AI this week, Vijay?
2002,
Yeah,
2010.
yeah, to guess. I think I'd be rich if every time I heard AI and had $10, I'd be doing pretty well right now, right? Well, anyways, let's talk a little bit about the future of work as a general topic, right? So you came from a keynote recently where they were really heavily talking about that.
Yeah.
And as AI comes in, it's not just the tool that will change, but the roles in the workplace that are going to change as well. So what emerging roles do you think will be joining your IT organization or IT as a whole in the next 3 to 5 years?
Yeah. This is very interesting because the keynote mentioned AI layoffs, but also all the new opportunities and how roles will change. So maybe I'll take it to my space and our area. And we see the role of both developers and designers, UX designers, changing a lot these days. So if I take it there, developers are turning into more of a moderator or architects where they mostly review code by AI. They still own production. They still need to wake up at 2 a.m. if production is done or there's any vulnerabilities.
Right.
But they get to do much more, and they get to be the architects of software, if you may. So the challenge is what happens to juniors and how do they step in.
The entry-level roles, yes.
Entry level is still pretty unknown, but we know that professionals that have been around for 2 years, 3 years, 10 years, 20 years are becoming more of kind of architects. And when it comes to the other persona, to product designers, UX designers, we see them as less of a crafter in the near future. And I wouldn't say moderator, but more of art directors, but also they will join the SDLC. So we see product designers creating code and participating software development. So roles are definitely changing, and we already see it in many companies. Yeah.
Let's dive into that a little bit more. Yeah. You know, we are becoming AI enabled in not just tech capacities, but multi-departments and organizations, right? So in general, maybe even thinking about those entry-level roles, what skills or functions do you think will phase out? And more so, which new ones will be critical?
Yeah, it's a good question. So I came out from a good talk by Arun, a distinguished analyst here at Gartner. And he mentions many, many new roles will open around AI. And that would be governance around AI, making sure that data doesn't leak the
like quality assurance?
Quality assurance, but also, let's say you adapt so many AI tools. Let's say you could adapt these days, you could adapt 10 new AI tools a month, and you don't want private customer data going into the wrong tools, allowing models to train on them or to index them in ways that aren't allowed. So governance is interesting. So I guess we will see more moderations and stats, let's say...
like data or information?
Yeah, data reviewers, people that make sure that the pipes are connected well in terms of where the data goes.
Yeah.
So this is one new type of role. And then...
like an AI plumber?
Yeah, an AI plumber,
like,
exactly.
You know, like I know it's an analogy, but like someone that's like
exactly
making sure everything's connected.
Exactly.
And if there's a leak, like how are we resolving the leak?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then the other things that were mentioned were around retraining workforce. So people don't necessarily know how to use those AI tools, and they have 20, 30 years in their role. They are experts in their field, but just train them in a few weeks and they could do 10x thanks to the new latest AI tools. But it's not easy to train all the people on the right AI tools.
Right.
And although we know there are like a handful of large model companies, there's infinite amount of applications that utilize them in very different ways. And that's amazing, the things you can do with
Right.
AI in many, many fields. Again, thanks to applications, not necessarily the core models. So retraining workforce is a big thing. Yeah.
Let's talk about the future of work from your personal opinion. We call it Work Reborn. What does Work Reborn mean to you?
Oh, it's a good question. So I would say we're now starting to learn how humans and bots, if you may, or I could say AI on the 3011
Whatever,
time.
yeah. We
Um,
change it up a bit,
yeah,
robots.
let's spice it up. Bots,
Yeah.
humanoids,
Yeah.
whatever. Humans and software could work in new ways, and it's changing, and it impacts every role in the organization. So I think we're still learning, and I guess one of the interesting things that were on the keynote is that AI readiness in terms of the software is a few steps ahead of human readiness. So even if innovation stops today, it will still take us years to adapt all the new technologies and tools. So we need to be creative, especially IT professionals. So we need to be creative about ways to utilize AI, and I know it's yet again another AI FOMO topic, but we need to be on top of things and to understand what are the latest tools that we could use and utilize in different roles and different departments in our organization. So this is how I see Work Reborn. Yeah.
That's very well said. Thank you so much, Avishay, for
Thank you,
joining us on
Rita.
the podcast today.
Yeah.
If anyone is interested in learning more about the Work Reborn report, make sure you check it out. It will be available in a link in the description below. And if you would like to download it via video, hello, we're here on YouTube. Over here, there is a QR code. You can scan it and grab a copy for yourself. Thank you for joining us on this podcast, and thank you for being our guest.
Thank
it's
you,
been a
Rita.
pleasure.
I had a great time.
Thanks for joining us live in Orlando for this amazing episode of Work Reborn. I've been your host, Rita Risha, and it's been a pleasure to bring you insightful conversations from around the world, especially at this event, on how we are bringing new life to the modern workplace. If you enjoyed this episode and you want to stay tuned on more ways that we are doing just that, make sure to like, follow, and subscribe our channel, and download a copy of the Work Reborn report today.
Lenovo.